We'll start with the prayers. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Today we start a new session on a new Upanishad, Prashnopanishad. We are going to refer to Shankara Bashyam for our sessions. And this Prashnopanishad holds a very prominent position also because of the last chapter in this Upanishad. What we are going to do is, we are going to cover chapter 1, 2, and 3 in a summary format. From chapter 4 onwards, we are going to discuss with Bhashyam, 4, 5, and 6. With this short introduction, let me go straight to the Upanishad. I have covered this slide during my summary talks of the Upanishads. For those newcomers who have not attended the 8 sessions of the summary of Upanishads, I would recommend you go to the website and download these 8 video sessions because they are very useful to all the students who are studying Upanishads. In case you're not able to get it downloaded, you can write to us, send a WhatsApp to us directly to me, directly to us, or an email. We will send you the entire class videos. Prashna Upanishad consists of 67 verses, divided into 6 chapters. The first chapter starts with a disciple. But before that, I will give you a small introduction of where do you find this Upanishad. This Upanishad is from Atharvana Veda. And the guru of this Upanishad is Pippalada. A unique thing about this Prashna Upanishad is it is linked to Mundaka Upanishad. Mundaka Upanishad comes in the Brahmana portion of the Veda. Prashna Upanishad comes in the mantra portion. It is a crisp portion. And so the elaboration of this Prashna Upanishad, you can also study Mundaka Upanishad. There are 6 disciples who go to a teacher called Pippalada. The names of the disciples are Kabandi in the first chapter, Bhargava in the second chapter, Kaushalya in the third chapter, Gargya in the fourth chapter, Satyakama in the fifth chapter, and Sukesha in the sixth chapter. All these 6 disciples are very, very competent students of Brahma Vidya. They have studied Karma Yoga, they have done Karma Yoga, they have done Upasana Yoga, And then they have understood that the karma yoga, upasana yoga will give them only a limited benefit. So they understand that jnana yoga is extremely critical in the study of Veda. I'll give you a short synopsis just for you to understand what we are going to study in this entire Upanishad. This one chart will tell you our progress, what it will be. The first question, there are 6 questions, and the answers to 6 questions is the entire Upanishad. The first question deals with Atma Anatma Viveka. And it talks about creation. How is a jiva born? Who creates the jiva? What is the process of creation? And Prashna Upanishad has a unique way of explaining the creation, which consists of 2 aspects in nature. One is matter, another is energy. So this matter-energy combination is the entire anatma, is the entire universe which is perceived by us. So that is the question, and the answer is given by Pippalada. Very general, broad question. It has 16 verses, but we will be doing the first 2 verses, and we will try to understand what this entire summary is in this chapter. The second chapter consists of 13 verses. So first chapter talks of Sthula Sharira, gross body. The second chapter talks about Sukshma Shariram, which is our mind, which is our prana, which is our indriyams, jnana indriyams and karma indriyams. So here the question is, among all these components of Sukshma Shariram, who among them is the greatest, without which the jiva cannot survive? All of you know the answer. It is Prana Tattva. So that is the second chapter. The third chapter is again about Sukshma Shariram. And here the direct question is, where is the ego? How is the ego born? We all have got an ego, right? How does this I, aham, dwell in this body? How does it enter the body? How does it leave the body? And how does this I support the external things which are related to the body? How is this entire ego functioning in this body is the third question. Again, Sukshma Sharira. So you can understand the entire focus of this whole Upanishad is on the Sharira. That means it is focused on the individual, and of course, it also talks about creation in general. Prapancha and Shariram is the focus of this entire Upanishad. Then, the fourth chapter talks about Karana Sharira. So those who have done the Tattva Bodha, you will remember that there are 3 bodies in us. Sthula Shariram, Sukshma Shariram, Karana Shariram. What are the organs that sleep in a man? You see, this type of questions nobody will ask unless until you come to Veda. So when we go to sleep, are the jnana indriyams functioning? Are the karma indriyams functioning? They are not functioning. What is functioning is the next question is, which is the devata who sees the dream. There is a seer of the dream. And who experiences happiness in this body? On what do all these depend on? Jnanendriyams, karma indriyams, prana. What does this entire body, on what does it depend on? So slowly, this question is a progressive question. Slowly, it will take you to the ultimate. So far we have seen Sthula Shariram, first chapter. Sukshma Shariram, second and third chapter. Karana Shariram, fourth chapter. The fifth chapter is Omkara Upasana. Suppose you do Omkara Upasana. We have studied Omkara Upasana in Mandukya Upanishad, and we are still studying Mandukya on every Sunday. Here the question of the student is, the one who does this Omkara Upasana till his death, every day he does Omkara Upasana. What happens to him? Where does he go after death? That is the fifth chapter. And the last chapter is the most important chapter, consisting of only 8 verses, but it talks about who is the Purusha who exists in this body. And where is he located? Purusha means the consciousness, the awareness principle, on which the entire universe and the bodies are dependent. Right? So slowly the build-up is from Sthula Shariram to Sukshma Shariram to Karana Shariram. You go subtler and subtler and subtler. And then you do Upasana, you meditate, make your mind more refined. All these are all preparations. For what? Ultimately, for Brahma Jnanam. Every Upanishad talks about Brahma Vidya. So this is the bird's eye view of the entire Prashna Upanishad. 6 chapters are there in this Upanishad for 6 disciples. The first 3 chapters are generally called as preparation chapters. Therefore, we will just have a summary. The 4, 5, and 6 are chapters with a focus on Atma Vidya, where we will study all the verses. The first chapter belongs to Kabandi. Kabandi is a name of a student. Pippalada is a name of a teacher. The first 2 verses of the first chapter, they introduce to us the disciple and the guru. Who is the guru? The name of the guru is Pippalada. And who is the disciple? All the 6 disciples will come in the first mantra of the Upanishad. There is a Shanti Patha. Om Badram Karneri Shunyama Devaha. We have seen this Shanti Patha in many other Upanishads also. Basically, it is a prayer chanted by the students for speciousness in life. They all seek good health and the strength to study the Upanishads. And then they pray to the Lord for prosperity, for peace, and the strength to study the Upanishads. So that is the essential meaning of this Shanti Patha. Shankaracharya writes a beautiful commentary on this Upanishad. I have given the actual mantras of Shankaracharya, and you can see it here. Wherever there is a mantra of Shankaracharya, which is important, I will, especially for the first three chapters, I will give you some of the mantras. So, generally in Upanishads, Samhita portion or mantra bhaga portion is the first portion. And the Brahmana portion is the second portion. So, Samhita portion, mantra portion is a short version. Brahmana portion is an elaboration of the mantra. So, Mundaka Upanishad is Mantra Upanishad. Prashna Upanishad is an elaboration of Mundaka Upanishad. Like, for example, Vedantic Upanishad, which belongs to Shukla Yajurveda, it is from Brahmana portion. This is just academic. Ishavasya Upanishad is the Mantra Upanishad. It comes in Shukla Yajurveda. So, Mantra Upanishad is Ishavasya. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is a Brahmana portion. Brahmana portion will come later. It is an elaboration. So, the entire Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is which is a very, very voluminous Upanishad. And that is a commentary on a few verses of Ishavasya Upanishad. Same topic is discussed in both the Upanishad, in Brahmana portion and Mantra portion. Mundaka Upanishad, for your information, consists of 65 mantras. Prashna Upanishad consists of 67 mantras. There is a commentator called Anandagiri who writes a commentary on the Shankara Bashyam of Shankaracharya. He says that Mundaka Upanishad has got two sections. Paravidya, which is discussed in the first two sections of Mundaka Upanishad. And in the third section, Paravidya. Aparavidya means what? Aparavidya means about the world in general. The seen world, the perceived world. Apara Prakriti is there in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita also. Para Prakriti is also there in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So, Bhagavad Gita has lifted it from Mundaka Upanishad, and Prashna Upanishad is expanding on that Para Prakriti, Apara Prakriti. When we study the portions, I will let you know what is being studied. What is the meaning of Paravidya? Paravidya means the indweller Atma, which is pure awareness, consciousness, which is the substratum for the entire universe. So, anytime you study the Upanishads, you will be able to understand which portion is Paravidya, which portion is Aparavidya. The three states which we study in Mandukya Upanishad is Aparavidya. The 7th mantra of Mandukya Upanishad is Paravidya. So, when you study the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, 14, 15 is generally focused on Paravidya. All other chapters are all on Aparavidya. So, basically, the portion dealing with Atma, portion dealing with Nama. Now, whenever we study the Apara Prakriti, there are two yogas, Karma Yoga and Upasana Yoga. They are involved in Apara Vidya. Mundaka Upanishad expands on this Para Vidya first. And in this mantra here, it talks about the different types of rituals which are conducted by a grihastha during the Vedic time, not today. Many of the rituals like Darsha and Purnamasa, then Agnihotram, these are all rituals which people used to do in the Vedic time to reach Swarga Loka. So the Veda gives certain rituals for Sukha Prapti. And all these are oblations in a yaga. And the oblations are given for a particular devata, like the Surya Deva. So when you do these yagas and rituals, you reach Swarga Loka. What happens to those people who are interested in the Atma portion of the Veda? For them, tapas and faith, Shraddha, these two are very, very important. So the second chapter and the third chapter of Prashna Upanishad focuses on the Shraddha and tapas, which is mainly required for Upasana. In Upasana, Mundaka Upanishad has got this beautiful verse which talks about Omkara Upasana, where Om is taken as an arrow which you shoot. You meditate like with your mind fixed on the goal. What is the goal? Goal is the Atma. And this pranava means the chanting of Om is an arrow which you are shooting to reach where? To reach Atma. So we are going to study this in the in chapter 5 of this Prashna Upanishad. What is the Vedantic teaching? Mundaka Upanishad and Prashna Upanishad, they talk about the same goal. The goal is to reach Brahman, to reach Atma. I know that I am not the body or mind, but I am the pure consciousness on which this body and mind, they are appearing and disappearing. Now, the first two verses of this first chapter discusses the qualifications of the Sishya as well as the Guru. So, when you study the first chapter, you get some lessons. How should a student of Brahma Vidya be in front of the teacher? And what should be his conduct? Now, in this first chapter, the teacher, Pippalada, says, all six of you who have approached me, I would like you to stay in the ashram for 1 full year. See, the students thought that they will just go and meet Acharya and he will and ask them the question and he will give the answer and they can return. But then what did the teacher do? The teacher said, I am not going to give you time to ask questions or answers till 1 full year. What did he want to test? He wanted to test whether the students have got tapas. They have got faith in the scriptures, faith in the words of the Guru. Now, these are very, very important qualifications which are important for us when we come to study the Brahma Vidya. See, in Upanishads, it's a very divine thing. It is not about the objective world. We are trying to understand our own essential nature. So now this is there, that knowledge is there in the scriptures, it is there in the Veda. But then who is the one who converts the Veda, makes the Veda speak to us? Veda has to speak to us. It is the teacher. Through the talk, through the explanations, the Veda speaks to us through the teaching. Pippalada is generally the students will say, you are an omniscient Acharya. You are very, very knowledgeable. Because he knows what the students really require. The students have come for dukkha nivritti. They have some sorrows in life, they have some unfulfilled desires. They don't know how to get rid of those desires. They approach a teacher, and the teacher has got the answer. So Upanishad glorifies the teaching, and Upanishad glorifies the student and also the teacher. Now, there are certain disciplines like meditation, like regular study of the Upanishads. These are all disciplines which are given in the Mundaka Upanishad, which is reminded again in Prashna Upanishad. These are all different different disciplines. Those are all very simple. I'm not going into the elaboration of it. Now let us just listen to this first verse of the Upanishad. The chanting is done by one of our participants called Vijaya. She lives in the US. Let's listen to her.
Om Sukeshacha Bharadvajah. Om Sukeshacha Bharadvajah. Shaibhyascha Satyakamah. Saibhyascha Satyakamah. Sauryayani cha Gargyah. Sauryayani cha Gargyah. कौसल्याश्चाश्वलायनः कौसल्याश्चाश्वलायनः भार्गवो वैदर्भिः कबन्धी कात्यायनः ते हैते ब्रह्मपरा ब्रह्मनिष्ठाः ते हैते ब्रह्मपरा ब्रह्मनिष्ठाः परं ब्रह्मान्वेषमाणः एषः वै तत्सर्वं वक्ष्यतीति तेह समीत्पाणयो भगवन्तं पिप्पलादमुपसन्नाः
So the first verse of the first chapter introduces the names of all the students. And they all approach the teacher for the highest knowledge which anybody can get on earth. Brahma Vidya or Atma Vidya is the highest knowledge because it deals with the subject, I, aham. Who am I? That is the question you will get answered when you study the Upanishads. They all went with Samit Padi. Samit Padi means fuel in hand. In the olden days, they used to take some twigs from the trees and approach a guru because they want their mind to be ignited. The twigs will be useful to the teacher because he is in the ashram and he can use them. But the real purpose is they want to make the teacher happy. Now, there are two names given for each student. The name given to them and from which gotram they belong to, from which lineage they belong to. Sukesha is the name. Bharatvaja is the lineage, first disciple. Shaibya and Satyakam. Sauryayani and Gargya. Kaushalya and Ashwalayana. Bhargava Vaidarbhihi. Kabandi Katyaya. So these are just the names. And in Mundaka Upanishad, those who recall, who was the teacher there? Angiras. And who was the student there? The Sishya. The Sishya was Shaunaka. And what did Shaunaka ask the teacher, Angiras, in Mundaka Upanishad? Can you teach me one thing by which I can understand the entire universe? What is that Atma Tattvam on which the entire universe is based? If I study that, I will know the whole universe. That was the question which was asked in Mundaka Upanishad. Now, Shankaracharya writes a commentary on the first verse. This is the commentary, and Shankaracharya tells a little bit more about the students. Sukesha is a well-groomed haired person. He was son of Bharatvaja. Shaibhya was the son of Shibihi. And he was Satyakama was the desirer of truth. Sauryayana is a name of the son of Saurya. And Gargya is a son of Garga Gotra, descendant of Garga Rishi. See, Gotra means it all starts from a Rishi. Some of you may know that you belong to certain Gotra. If you ask your father or grandfather, they will tell you that. Because there is a lineage of Rishis. And we all belong to one Veda. Some people belong to Yajurveda, some people belong to Rig Veda. Generally, the society will be divided into these two parts. Of course, some are there for other Vedas also. Primarily, you will find in India, Yajurveda and Rig Veda people are prominent. Then Shankaracharya talks about the city of Vidarbha, from where one of the students came. Okay, so when you study the commentary, you get some details like this. Now, when it comes to the Kabandi, he was son of Katyayana. Ayanaha is the suffix. Katya is the verb. Now, what do you mean by Katyayana? Katyayana's grandfather, Katyayana, Kabandi is related to Katyayana, who is son of Katya. Okay. Now, in Panini grammar, they give a lineage. How to present the lineage is given in Panini grammar. I'm not going to the details of that. Now, what did the 6 disciples? They had one goal in common. Now, they all wanted to know Param Brahma. See, in the world, there are two things, Aparam Brahma and Param Brahma. Param Brahma is invisible, which is pure consciousness. Aparam Brahma is Sagunam Brahma. That means the same Nirgunam Brahma appears with gunas. how do I get moksha? How do I get to the knowledge of the scriptures? The direct meaning of I, aham. The direct meaning of aham is that pure awareness, consciousness, which is called as Param Brahma. So all the six disciples had the knowledge of Sagunam Brahma. They knew a little bit about creation, but their real goal was the superior Brahma, which is Karanam Brahma. What is the inferior Brahma? Inferior is of a lower nature. See, when you study the Mandukya Upanishad, the first pada, the second pada, the deals with the waking state and dream state. Now that is supposed to be karyam. Karyam means it's a product. It is an effect. So our waking state and dream state are products of what is the cause. The cause is supposed to be the third pada, which is the sleep state. Maya Sahitam Brahma is Karanam Brahma. What is Maya? Maya is in Shakti. So whenever we refer to the word, like for example, the seed and the tree, the seed condition is called as Karanam. What is the tree? Tree is the Karyam, product. So all the students, they wanted to know what is the seed of this universe. What is this Param Brahma? They don't know Param Brahma. They knew only Virat and Hiranyagarbha. Virat and Hiranyagarbha, people who have done Mandukya Upanishad, who are doing Mandukya Upanishad will remember, Virat means the Devata which controls the entire waking state, and the Devata which controls the dream state. So they are interested to know from Pippalada about this pure consciousness. And when they went in search of the Guru wanted to know why are they seeking this? Because the students knew only with the knowledge of Nirgunam Brahma, which is Param Brahma, they will get the fourth Purushartha. Purushartha means goals in life. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Dharma, Artha, Kama. Most of us are interested only in Artha and Kama. Artha means wealth. Kama means entertainment. So 90%, 99% of the people are interested only in Artha and Kama. Very few people, they are interested in living a dharmic life. And then out of those dharmic people, a small percentage wants to know how to get rid of this samsara, which is samsara is defined as repeated birth and death, birth and death, birth and death. The Veda says all of us have taken several births before and will take more births in the future also. How to get rid of this samsara problem? It is only by knowing this Param Brahma. What is Param Brahma? Param Brahma, in short, means it is beyond time, beyond space, and without any change. So all the six disciples were very intelligent people. They were not ordinary people. They have approached the teacher for the highest nirguna jnanam, which is Shantam Shivam Advaitam Chaturtham Manyante Saha Vigneyaha. the seventh mantra of Mandukya Upanishad. So that is the background of all these six disciples. They knew what is Virat Hiranyagarbha, but they wanted to know this pure consciousness, which is what they will be able to get from this Upanishad. Now, I was talking about Artha, Artharthi, Jignasu, Jnani, Bhaktis. There are four types of bhaktis which you might have studied in the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And also in the 7th chapter, it talks about the Jignasu Bhaktas. All these Artha Bhaktis Artha Bhaktas means what? Those people interested in the pleasures. Artharthi means those who have got difficulties, they want to get out of difficulties, they go to God and say, pray. Jignasu means they have a keen desire to know about the world. And Jnani Bhakti is one who has studied the scriptures. The Jignasu Bhakta wants to become Jnani Bhakta. All the six disciples, they were all Jignasu Bhaktas. They wanted to become Jnani Bhaktas, and they knew the only way is to know what is Nitya Vastu in this universe. You see, the entire universe, our waking state, dream state, sleep state, they're all anitya. What is Nityam? Nityam is the adhishtanam. It is the substratum on which this entire universe is coming and going, coming and going. How to go away from the appearances and hold on to the pure consciousness is the subject matter of Prashnopanishad. So I must seek Nirgunam Brahma to attain Moksha. By knowing this Nirgunam Brahma, which is the cause of this universe, I also will understand that I am not the body, I am not the mind, and my swarupam is awareness. What if I study the world which is anityam? I can study, I can get a PhD, I can get a lot of things, a lot of benefits by studying the objective sciences. But by studying the objective sciences, I may get some money, I may get a job, I can become a professor of philosophy in the university. So all this is within samsara. But if you want to get rid of samsara, you must realize in your own inner self, you must try to appreciate the knowledge of the Upanishads. What is impermanent has to be attained by karma, by action. For example, every action, what is the result? It can be only four things. One is apyam. Apyam means you reach a place. You do karma, you walk up and then you reach your office. You fly and then you reach another destination. Utpatya means you produce certain things by action. Samskarya means you purify certain things uh, by refining them. Vikarya means you keep on changing product, changing something like gold changes into chain, ring, bangle. These are all things which you can do, but they are all in samsara. Any result of any action which you do, it is falling within samsara. Even the rituals which you do, that is the highest. I mean, what by doing rituals, where do we get? We get swarga. But what does the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita says? 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita says, after your punyam gets exhausted, Shine punye martya lokam vishanti. You come back to the bhuloka when your punyam gets exhausted. So what is permanent cannot be tainted by karma. It is not a result of action, but it is jnana phalam. Moksha is jnana phalam. Knowing Brahman, knowing pure consciousness is jnanam, is jnana phalam. And that is, but knowing this pure consciousness, it is nitya phalam. So in Mundaka Upanishad, it says, Pariksha lokan karmachitan brahmano nirvedam. What does a wise man do? He studies the entire life, examines it. And then what does he discover? All whatever he is God desires, he can get fulfilled in this world through karma. But he is never fulfilled with karma. You do any type of karma in the world, whether you get money, you will never be satisfied by amassing wealth. Kathopanishad very clearly says, through wealth you can never get fulfillment in life. So what gives fulfillment in life? It is Brahma Vidya. Fulfillment is getting this knowledge of Nitya Vastu. What is Nitya Vastu is the subject matter of this Upanishad. And all Upanishads. That's what we study. And what is Nityam in this world is only the pure consciousness. Param Brahma is Nityam. So all the students, they had full confidence in the teacher. They had heard about this teacher. They went to the teacher and said, we all need this Vidya, and the teacher was also ready to teach them. What were the Guru's conditions is explained in the second verse of the mantra.
तन्हस ऋषिरुवाच भूय एव तपसा ब्रह्मचर्येण श्रद्धया संवत्सरं संवत्स्यथ यथा कामं प्रश्नान् पृच्छत यदि विज्ञास्यामः सर्वं हवो वक्ष्याम इति
So this is the verse which talks about the qualifications of the students. And in this, the students' main qualification is tapas. Tapas means it is austerity, control of jnana indriyams and karma indriyams. Brahmacharyam means celibacy. Then also, this is in short sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, like shraddha, which is faith in the scriptures, faith in the Guru. Then the other qualifications like viveka, vairagyam, all these are all tested by the Guru. And what did the Guru tell the students? He said, if I know whatever, he didn't know the 6 questions. He said he was so humble and he was he had humility. He said, if I know the answer to your questions, I will definitely teach you. And the teacher wanted to reveal to them how to have humility in life. Prashna Upanishad does not have any significance of any rishi or something. It is just the title. It it only tells you that it is questions of disciples. Prashna Upanishad, and this portion of the slide is only a revision portion. I'm going to skip this. Okay, what is the first question asked in the first chapter? I will give you a summary of the question and a summary of answer. So far, what did we discuss? We discussed who are the six disciples in this entire Upanishad, their names, what were their qualifications. They had qualifications of Shraddha, Viveka, Vairagyam. Those qualifications they already had. They knew the goal and they knew the purpose of attaining that goal also, to get rid of samsara. Samsara means what? Repeated births and deaths. Now, the first question asked by the disciple is, how are human beings born? Now, the answer given by Pippalada is, human beings are born from Prajapati, the creator. Hiranyagarbha or Brahma is the creator, Prajapati. Who is the creator of this whole universe? You see, in Vedanta, what we say is there is a creator called Prajapati or Brahmaji who creates the 14 lokas. That is not mentioned in this Upanishad, but in some other Upanishad, it mentions Aitareya Upanishad. It says all the 14 lokas are created for the sake of jivas. Jivas are basically anadi. Anadi means they are ever there. That Karana Shariram is the jiva, together with all the punya papas. Now, for the jiva, there are 4 stages of creation which are discussed in Prashna Upanishad. Now, each Upanishad has got a style in which it presents the universe. In this Upanishad, in Prashna Upanishad, the entire creation is divided into 4 parts. What is the first part? The first part is Surya and Chandraha. Here we don't talk about the bhutas. You see, in Chandogya Upanishad, we talk about 3 elements: earth, fire, water. In Taittiriya Upanishad, we add 2 more elements: space and air. Here, what do they say? Here, what is the definition? You see, why there is no consistency in all these creation theories in this Upanishad? Shankaracharya in his other bhashyams, he says there is no consistency. In Brahma Sutra, there is one sutra, Shastra Yonitvad. In that he says, Shankaracharya says, consistency is not there in all these Upanishads about creation, because ultimately we are going to drop the creation as mithya. As Anatma is mithya. Mithya means it is only there for appearance, like dream world. Dream world, where is it? Is it really created? Or is it a projection of your mind? If you ask the question, it is a projection of our mind. So similarly, there is God who projects this waking state for us, for all the jivas to come and exhaust their punya papa, and then he manifests the world and manifests the world. So that is how we should understand creation. Now, Kala Tattvam is actually, Kala means time. Time is actually one. But then here in this Prashna Upanishad, they divide Kala into year based on Surya, Samvatsara, year, Masaha, month, and day, Divasaha. Divasa means there is a night time and daytime. So, what is the entire spectrum of Kala? Kala is either you take it as Uttarayana, Dakshinayana, 6 months cycle. The rotation of the sun remains, but the earth rotates around the sun. 6 months Uttarayana, 6 months Dakshinayana. They call it winter and summer solstice. Now, when it comes to the month, it is either Shukla Paksha or Krishna Paksha. The dark side or the bright side. 15 days you will find there is a cycle. And then during a day is what? A day and night. Together make one full 24 hours. Now this Kala, according to this Upanishad, is divided into Anna Srishti and Praja Srishti. Now, there are pairs, 4 pairs taken. You see, I'm not going to go into the details of this because it's quite complex, the way the Upanishad explains creation in this first chapter. It is not a very straightforward as you study in Taittiriya Upanishad. From Atma came space. From space comes the air. From air comes the fire. Fire, then you have water and earth. That is systematic krama shrishti. Here, shrishti is described as 4 pairs. Surya and Chandra is one pair. Uttarayanam and Dakshinayanam is another pair. Shukla Paksha, Krishna Paksha is another pair. Aho and Ratra. Ratra means night, Aho means daytime. What do these pairs refer? Basically, they talk about complementary pairs. That means you don't have, see how day comes and night comes. They are complementary to each other. Similarly, Shukla Paksha, Krishna Paksha, they are complementary pairs. It is a Mithuni Shrishti. Mithuni Shrishti means what? Complementary. A male and female, they are complementary. And what Shankaracharya says is that these complementary pairs ultimately is the whole creation. Now, this Upanishad uses 2 words. It uses Rai and Surya. That means there is a consumer and consumed. Okay, in this universe, there is a consumer for anything. For example, you are a consumer. That all the human beings are consumer for all the sense objects. So similarly, you find that this creation is for a pair of consumer and consumed. Vedantic Upanishad also talks of the same type of Srishti in one of those chapters there. I put here 146, the first chapter, 4th section. Annadaha, you see, among all the pairs, ultimately Upanishad says there is an experiencer and who is called as a bhokta, and there is a experiencing object, which is the bhogya. This you will be able to understand. There is a bhokta and there is a bhogya prapancha. This is the complementary pair. I am bhokta. Bhokta means what? I consume things in the universe. I experience. All the experience objects is called what? Bhogya prapancha. So the whole creation is what? It is only bhokta and bhogyam. Think about it. Universe, you are saying, it consists of only bhokta and bhogyam. See the beautiful reply of the Pippalada teacher. The question was, what is this entire creation? Where are living beings born? How are the living beings born? When the student wanted to ask that question, actually he wants to know what is this creation. So Rai and Prana, Surya and Chandraha, Bhokta and Bhogyam, Annam and Prajaha, all these complementary pairs are created by Prajapati, and that constitutes this entire creation. You can take it as Kala Tattvam, day and night. You can take it as Dakshinayanam, Uttarayanam. You can take it as different complementary pairs. But ultimately, Bhokta and Bhogyam is the creation. Prajapati himself becomes the time principle. He becomes the Nimitta Karanam and Upadana Karanam. Okay, this is slightly technical. Let me explain here. See, the creator is this pure consciousness. But in itself, this consciousness doesn't have any universe. So what do we experience here? From what we experience, the Upanishad brings down the Prajapati, and he says that same pure consciousness is the intelligent cause and the material cause for this universe. For example, I alone am the waker. I appear as a dreamer and I go to sleep, and again I come back and I appear as the waker. In our case, it is very easy. We all know this. The waker himself becomes the dreamer. Waker himself becomes the sleeper. Again, from sleeper, the sleeper again comes back to the waker. Now, this cycle is called as anupravesha. I drop one body, enter another body. Again, I drop that body, I get into the Karana Sharira. I drop the physical body, go to the dream state. Drop the dream body, go to the sleep state. Drop the dream Karana Shariram, come back to the physical body. I enter, I drop. I enter and I drop. So ultimately, who am I? Not the physical body in the waking state. I am not the subtle body in the dream state. I am not the sleeper Karana Shariram, but I am pure Turiyam. Whatever we are learning in Mandukya Upanishad is the same what is being discussed in Prashnopanishad. So ultimately, this Prajapati, the creator, is in me. In me means what? As what? Not as this body, but as this pure consciousness, awareness. Now, little bit of detail about Shukla Marga and Krishna Marga are given by Shankaracharya. And what are the deities which are controlling the two margas? Margas means path. Path by which the jiva leaves this body and takes up another body. Those are the margas. And there are certain details which are given. So what did we study here today? We studied about Apara Vidya, which deals with the world creation. And what is the Paravidya? Paravidya is the Jiva who enters the body, who is remaining in the body, and again travels and then comes back from waking, dream, sleep, and ultimately that Jiva realizes I am not the Jiva, traveling Jiva, I am the travelers, pure Atma. All these things are also mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita in the 8th chapter. The details about the 6 months, the northern solstice and the southern solstice. If you want to have the reference, the 8th chapter, 24th verse in the Gita is an expansion of what we discuss in Prashna Upanishad and also what we discuss in Mundaka Upanishad. So 24th verse and the 25th verse I've quoted here. You can go through these in your notes. See, whenever I'm giving these sessions, I use a set of notes which I circulate. So if you want to revise, you can just glance through these notes to understand the teaching. So the first chapter connects different gatis, and it says that you can reach by doing karma, that means by doing rituals, you can reach Swarga Loka. By doing meditation or upasana, you can reach a higher loka, which is called as Brahma Loka. The living beings came from the Supreme Being. See, who am I? I'm a reflection of that pure Prajapati. That is what the teacher wants to convey to the student. He wants to say that all this creation is only meant for you to understand I am not the physical body, but I am the pure consciousness, which is the Lord Himself who is appearing as the witness in this body. Okay? So, the brahmacharyam has been mentioned as one of the values, and the first chapter talks about the creation in general. And we discuss the creation in the first chapter in the form of complementary pairs. Nowhere else this type of creation is mentioned. It is a very unique thing in Prashna Upanishad. If you really go into the depth of this study, you will find there is a lot of scientific logic in there. And ultimately, the goal of this study is what? To reach this Atma Tattva. Now, I will introduce the second chapter today, and then I will continue it in the next week. Second chapter consists of 13 mantras. Bhargava is the student, Pippalada is the teacher. Now, in the second chapter, the question of the student is very, very interesting. We all know, by the study of Tattva Bodha, we all know that we have Sukshma Shariram, which consists of Panchana Jnana Indriyas, which means the eyes, the ears, the nose, the tongue, all these are Jnana Indriyas. Karma Indriyas are our legs, our hands. We have studied this in Tattva Bodha. Prana, Prana, Apana, Vyana, Samana, Udana. These are all the prana. One main prana, that is the breath which we inhale, it gets divided into different regions in the body. All these are all Sukshma Shariram. You can't see them. You can't see the Indriyas. You use the Indriyas to see the world, but they are invisible. We are talking about Indriyam, we are not talking about Golakam. Eyes you can see. Eye is only a locus. of the indriyas to manifest, to remain, and then through the golakams we experience the world. Then we have antakarana, mind, intellect, memory, and ego. Now, the question asked by Bhargava is, among these components, 19 components of Sukshma Shariram, this is a mini revision of Tattvabodha. Which one is the greatest? How do organs claim which is superior? Prajapati gives the answer. It says, first, all organs claim I am the greatest. Every organ, we have studied Keno Upanishad, where the same story comes also. Where if you have done Keno Upanishad with me, or if you have studied before through others also, you would know that Agni went and checked, Vayu went and checked. I can blow the whole world, but let me see the Yaksha. Yaksha is in the form of the Brahman, or pure consciousness appears in the form of bright light in Keno. So, anything can claim, right? Panchabhutas can claim, I'm the greatest. Akasha can claim, because ultimately Akasha, Prithvi, they only control this body, right? They support the body. But then who is the ultimate, the greatest? Prana says, I am the greatest. He doesn't even say it. What does the prana do? He just gets ready to leave the body. Prana decides to withdraw, only decides to withdraw, prepares to withdraw. Like a person in ICU. All the organs, they start withering away. The moment prana gets ready to leave, all the indriyams, the pancha pranas, pancha jnana indriyas, pancha karma indriyas, all of them, they start shivering. They all loosen their strength. When they lose their strength, immediately they give up their glory. They say, no, we are not the highest. We are not the greatest in this world. And prana then claims the glory of being the greatest organ, or greatest amongst the subtle body. The prana claims to be the greatest. Prajapati is called as the Hiranyagarbha in Upanishads, and he creates and sustains everything in the universe. The prana tattvam is nothing. It is a mini version of that Hiranyagarbha. Prana is the thing which gives life to the organs. Between mind and prana, prana is greater, not the mind. Without the functioning of prana, the mind cannot function. All organs, including the mind, they all depend on prana. Even in coma, a person survives because of the functioning of prana. So, prana is called as Jeshtaha, and prana is called as Shreshtaha. Jeshtaha and Shreshtaha. Jeshtaha means he is the eldest one among all the organs. He is the eldest, and Shreshtaha is the greatest. In the womb, in the child, what manifests first? It is the breath of the child. The breath of the child, according to the Upanishad, it says that manifests in the womb first. Mind and other organs, they take time. And as soon as the birth of the baby is there, what happens? The first breath is taken by the body, and then all the organs start functioning. So when you study the birth of a child, you can understand this Upanishad much better. The Prana Tattvam is the greatest Tattvam, and uh, it is the Tattvam which blesses all the organs. That is why in yoga we do pranayama. Pranayama means you control the breath, you can control all the organs in the body. All the devatas, Surya Devata, Chandra Devata, Nakshatra Devata, Varuna Devata, Vayu Devata, all are blessed by which Devata? Hiranyaka. See, that is at the samashti level, at the total level. At the individual level, it is the prana, which is the highest or which has got the greatest glory in our body. Then here there is another verse which I have quoted here. Because of the rain, the devata which controls the rain, food comes in the world. It is one of the verses in this second chapter. Here is the story which is given in verse 4 of the chapter. What I have told you in the form of a short story, explained in the second chapter in these verses, and the commentator Madhusudana Saraswati also, when he quotes, when he writes the Gita Dhyana Shloka, he also takes the help of these mantras from Prashna Upanishad when he writes this Dhyana Shloka. This is said by one of the commentators. So the essence of the second chapter is the factor which is sustaining the micro jiva and the macro universe is Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha is the total Sukshma Sharira Prapancha. It is the Devata. So there is a Devata which controls the entire Devas, other Devas in the world, and it also controls the Adhyatma. Adhyatma means it controls the body also through the Prana. Okay, so that is about the second chapter. Next week, we will start the third chapter. It will be a short summary, and then the detailed fourth chapter onwards, the Bhashyam details completely. We will be doing every verse of the Bhashyam, every verse of the universe of the Upanishad, and the detailed verses of the Bhashyam we will be doing. Okay, so we will start with the third chapter next week. And the third chapter, the student's name is Kaushalya. We have studied all the names of the students. We will be studying the details in the chapter. And today we have covered two chapters. See, the reason I'm not covering the detail of the Upanishads and the Bhashyam is because they are too complex and they don't have so much value in terms of Brahma Vidya. I'm trying to focus on Brahma Vidya, especially when it comes to the sixth chapter. You will find the depth of this Prashna. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachade Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Go through the chat box and see if there's any thing on the chat. Okay. A few questions are there. The first question is from Arun Jain. Kindly explain to me the word Rai and Prana. See, matter and energy. If you go through my notes, you'll find that you'll find a little bit of description on this matter and energy. Rai and Prana. Basically, in science, we say the entire world is nothing but matter. But when you see the deeper aspects of matter, ultimately matter resolves into this energy principle. So Upanishad also talks of the matter, which is anatma. Matter is a grosser form, energy is a subtler form. So prana and rai, these are the two forms of anatma prapancha. A little bit more details if you want. I would recommend you study you refer to the book of Prashna Upanishad by Chinmaya Mission. They have, for each verse, they have a description, and you can refer to that book. Otherwise, you can write to me. I will send you a copy of where, you can get it from Chinmaya Missions or from the Manikandan, is there any teaching given to the student in chapter 1 is mithya? No. You see, the mithya nature of prapancha is not given in the first chapter. You will get all these discussions about satyam and mithya in the last chapter, in the 6th chapter. Okay? Karana Brahma is considered as supreme Brahma, whereas in Mandukya it is considered the third part. Yes, you're right. So don't refer to the deeper aspects of Mandukya. Here, Nirguna Brahman, that means Turiyam is taken as Karanam. That is the third padam itself. So each Upanishad has its style of presenting creation, presenting the entire world. See, in this Upanishad, Karana Brahma, you take it as the third pada itself. And that third pada is got another, it is the Sagunam part. But what is the Nirgunam part? Nirgunam part is the seventh, which is the pure consciousness, which is beyond Karanam and Karana. Okay? So here the Upanishad does not make, it only says Sagunam Brahma and Nirgunam Brahma. It doesn't say the word Turiyam. Sagunam Brahma is the third pada, which is the Karana pada. Beyond the Karana pada, there is something called as Nirgunam Brahma, which is pure Sat, pure Chit, which is the seventh. So Manikandan, have you understood that? Shanmugam will unmute everybody so that you can just unmute yourself and speak up. Yeah, Manikandan.
Very clear now. It's like
okay, good.
It's between the Sagunam and Nirguna.
Yeah, that's correct. It is talking about Sagunam Brahma as the Karana. The word here is used as Sagunam Brahma. It is not Antaryami or the third pada. The word used here is Sagunam Brahma is the Karanam for the creation.
Thank you so much.
And Nirgunam Brahma is the seventh mantra. The words here which is used is Sagunam and Nirgunam.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. There are a few people who are asking questions. Nagalakshmi, please go ahead. You can tell me your question.
Namaste, Mahoday.
Yeah, namaste.
Thanks a lot for this opportunity. Very useful class for us. As a beginners, we are getting an opportunity to know many things. And from what I want to know is like here we are going to learn about Atma, I think. The purely about Atma is the study about.
Yes, that's correct. Our ultimate aim is to understand what is this pure Atma.
Then, Mohoday, if it is Atma means, now usually we have heard like person after death, Bhuta, Preta, like that. Is that when Atma is pure consciousness, then why these things are happening around? Why it is they are telling after death again Atma will go and join with the pure consciousness means.
Okay. See, what happens is only a person who has removed the ignorance about this Atma, only he will know or she will know that I am the pure consciousness. There is something called as ignorance about our nature. Now, all the Upanishads are trying to remove this ignorance, which is called as Mula Avidya. You see, suppose you know I am the Atma, I am pure consciousness. That is the ultimate. But it takes time for all the jivas to reach that level. It takes time. But what about the ignorant people? Ignorant people will think I am the body. And you are talking about the travel of the soul after death. Now, whenever we want to describe the travel, usually we use the word karana sharira. As per your punyam and prapam, you will leave the body and the next body you will take. In between, you may be in different lokas. That all is explained in different Upanishads, but we shouldn't get too much into detail in those aspects. We should, when we come to study the Upanishad, we should focus our attention on trying to understand the Atma principle in us. The Atma principle is what? I am not this gross body. Atma is what? I am not the subtle mind or the subtle prana in this body. So in this shariram, there are different components. Like there are pancha koshas, as described in Taittiriya Upanishad. Uh, so what we have to focus is, I am not the physical body. I am not the prana, which is keeping the body alive. Why is the prana there in this body? Prana is there as governed by Ishvara. Ishvara is what? He gives the karma phala to all the jivas. He will keep the prana in this body till your punya papam is exhausted.
Okay.
So till your punyam is there, you will remain in this body. The moment your punyam is gone, immediately you'll be shifted to another loka, and again you will take another body. But that is for ajnanis. Ajnani means person who doesn't know this Atma. But suppose you learn this Upanishad and you continue the study of each Upanishad, what happens to you? Slowly, what will happen is you will start saying to yourself that this body is there, but I am not the body. I am experiencer of the body, but I am not the body. Who is experiencing the body? It is the consciousness together with the mind is experiencing the physical body. And this body is given to me. It is not that I have chosen this body. Body is given to us by Ishvara. Ishvara is what? He is the one who is called as Karma Phala Data. Karma Phala Data means what? He controls this whole projection of the universe. How do I understand this universe? Very simply put, you should say that this is God's projection. I am a part of this God's projection. For example, what? The dream world. The waker projects the dream world and then he unmanifests the dream world. Similarly, God also, he manifests the waking world and manifests the waking world. Okay, to answer your question directly, Ajnani means a person who does not have the knowledge of Atma. He will keep on traveling into different bodies. Jnani means a person who understands the Upanishads, gets clarity in this birth itself. He says, I am not the body. And that is the goal of all the people who study the Upanishads.
Thanks a lot, Mahoday. It is very thankful to you, Mahoday. And one more thing, if
Yeah,
this is the case, four Purusharthas we are talking about, then once we come to know about what real Atma is, then we don't go for asking moksha also, I feel. Is it so?
you are right. That's correct. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Dharma, Artha, Kama, all these are actually supposed to help us for moksha. The moment I understand that this dharma, this artha and kama are just temporary, they are just fleeting. The money is not going to give me fulfillment in life. Kathopanishad says this in very big detail. Same thing, entertainments and desire fulfillment going to give me fulfillment in life. What gives me fulfillment in life and gives me purpose of this birth is moksha. And what is moksha? Moksha means I have to learn through the scriptures. I have to learn I am not the body. I am not the physical body. I am not the mind. And the Upanishad does a wonderful job of this. You wait till the sixth chapter of this Prashna Upanishad, you will understand the real truth behind this entire universe.
Thanks a lot, Mahoday. May I know what is the period? Maybe it is like 2 months or 3 months, whatever. Is it any structure is there to
I don't know how long.
any
It's a good
idea?
question. I really don't know how long I will take. But see, there are six chapters. There are about 67 mantras. Now, I am not the fourth, fifth, and sixth. Next week, we will finish the third chapter. So then the detailed study of fourth chapter, fifth chapter, 4, 5, and 6 will happen. I would say roughly about 4 months, 3 to 4 months. This 4 months, 4 5 months, this should finish.
Okay, Mahoday. Thanks a lot. And we will get the slides, right? That
Yeah.
PDF.
You'll get the recording next week by Wednesday, Thursday. You will have the recording of today, and I would recommend you write to us. If you have not written to us, we will send you all the 500 videos we have in our classes. I want to recommend you, if you are a very sincere student, just before this class, till last week, there were 8 weeks. We took a introduction to all the Upanishads. So, for all those who have not attended the 8 sessions, I would strongly recommend you go through that 8 sessions in your own free time. It will give you a lot of knowledge and it will motivate you to study a little bit more in detail about these Upanishads. So,
Okay, Mahoday.
okay,
May I have that email ID?
yeah, you write to Vedanta students at gmail.com.
Vedantastudents@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mahoday. Namaste.
Uh, yeah, Arun, you're asking what the time. I am not so sure. People will reply to you because there are people here from different countries, all the way from Virginia to USA to, I have gone through this type of questions before. If you can have it earlier or later. In terms of timing, there are people here from London, there are people here from USA, and people from India. So the changing of the time is a little difficult. You see, what I suggest to you, Arun, is you can get the recording and you can go through the recording time. You can study. You see, there are a lot of people who have requested us because of the time differences. Many people have requested us to send the recording, and they see the recording at their own convenience, and then they are in touch with us. They are in touch with us by way of questions, by way of emails and WhatsApp messages, and to the other, a lot of people are there. Equal number attend here, and equal number uh, attend the sessions in their own convenient time. Okay, there is one more question. Somebody else. Okay, Nagalakshmi has finished. Okay, is there anybody else who has got a question in mind?
Yeah. Good evening, sir. Namaskaram. Pranams. Ramakrishnan here, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, Ramakrishna. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So this is the first class I'm attending, sir. But I just joined through the WhatsApp, and it is so excellent. And I'm just started to reading the notes, the Vedantas. Thank you so much for the notes, and then explaining about the Vedantas and all the Upanishads. I'm just started learning on this Vedanta, sir. Thank you so very
Good.
much.
Thank you.
So
Yeah,
I
Ramakrishna.
maybe
Yeah, you see, are you new to Vedanta itself?
yes.
Okay, then I would suggest you go through the 5 sessions of Tattva Bodha. There is write to us, and you will get the details of Tattva Bodha. Tattva Bodha is the basic text which everybody should go through. Whoever is listening, most of them are all previous students who have been here for almost 8, 10, 12 years. They have been regularly listening. For you, the best is you keep attending these sessions in your own free time. Do Tattva Bodha first. Then you do Atma Bodha.
Okay.
And then you do it is that Tattva Bodha is about 4 or 5 sessions, Atma Bodha about 10, 15 sessions. And then this you can do on your own. While you're studying this, while you are coming to these sessions, you study that. You will be able to understand the Upanishads better. So after you do Tattva Bodha, Atma Bodha, you go through the 8 sessions of Upanishads. Just go through it, doesn't matter. Whatever you are able to understand, just go through it. And then what happens is, you come for these classes, you will really understand the depth of these Upanishads. This applies to all the people who are very new to these type of classes. I get a lot of students who write to me and say that I'm very fresh. I don't know anything about Vedanta, but I want to learn. There is a lot of people in the world who want to learn Vedanta, but they don't know how to go. So the best way is go through Tattva Bodha, Atma Bodha. If possible, you do Master Gita, Master Life. There is a series of talks in my website, or you can get it from me. These are all you do in your own free time. That means you allocate, say, about half an hour or 1 hour every day for these type of talks. Then come to these classes regularly. Just even if you come and listen, this will help you a lot, because when you are in a session, direct session, then even if you don't understand the full lecture or full talk, you will start appreciating the different words, the different ideas which are brought about by Upanishads. All of us here who are here, they all started like you only, but today they have grown to a higher level.
Sure, sir.
Thank
I started with Tattva Bodha and Atma Bodha. Sure, sir.
Very good. Thank you, Ramakrishnan. Anybody else? Shanta, go ahead.
Namaste, Mahoday. I was looking forward for this Upanishad. Very interesting. What I was today's session, I know it was a summary of the first three, and we have also seen it in the summary, summary sessions of all the Upanishads, which we did last few weeks. Uh, when we talked about the creation, right? And every Upanishad has got different ways of describing it, but ultimately it is mithya. We understand that.
Yes.
Um, but what my point was, oh, why is this given in different ways? Because the Panchikaranam, which is, we learned, actually tells you in a very clear way how the world, I mean, the creation happens. And what is the most important part of this creation? I mean, but what element is the most important one for it to sustain? That is prana. So even in this Upanishad, when you talk, when we, it describes in mass and energy, matter and energy, right?
Yeah.
So where is the prana in this? Because for me, I went to my, theory of relativity and E is equal to mc squared in my
Yeah.
mind, because mass and energy, we understand that, but
That's correct. You see,
s-
the scientific way of mass and energy is different than what when they talk about mass and energy in the Vedanta.
okay.
Science has a different connotation, and here Rai and Prana just go
Mm,
through Prashna Upanishad. See, these theories are very, very complex. What Shankaracharya has done is he has taken the gist of all these Upanishads and he writes in Tattvabodha creation of Panchikarna, and then he has made the entire creation process very simple for us. Exactly, he
mm,
follows the style of Taittiriya Upanishad creation.
mm,
So creation is complex, especially in this Prashna Upanishad, it's extremely complex. With talking about pairs of in creation, you have Bhokta and Bhogyam, you have
mm.
uh, night
Surya
and day.
Chandra, Yante Night, yeah.
Like that is creation. You see, you can look at creation from different viewpoints.
Mm,
I mean, just a simple answer. What is creation? Night and day.
mm.
You can stop there. You don't have to talk about bhokta. I don't have to talk about bhogyam. Whole creation is nothing but day and night, day and night, day and night, day and night, coming and going.
But is
So
it
the
not projection and resolution?
sorry,
Instead of day and night, is it not projection and resolution in reality?
yeah, it is. You see that is what it says that in different Upanishads,
Mm,
different rishis they have described creation as it appeared to them.
mm,
Upanishad is just a written form of something which a rishi has experienced. Now, why they have got these experience, we don't know. And you should know that what we have today is only about 112 Upanishads where we have the scriptural study, where we have the actual verses and we can understand the meanings. There are 1,000 other Upanishads which are lost, which may have had a lot of gaps of information.
mm,
What we should be happy is let us study a few Upanishads. We understand creation in them. Whichever theory appeals to me, I hold on to it. You don't have to hold on to Prashna Upanishad or Chandogya Upanishad, three elements, Taittiriya Upanishad,
the
five
Upanishad, five
elements.
elements, or
When it comes to Brahma Sutra, Shankaracharya clearly says, don't uh, focus on the theories of creation. There is kramam. Kramam means there is order. From space came air, from air came fire, and so on.
yeah,
That is
yeah,
an order.
yeah, yeah.
The
Mm,
second is akramam. Kramam means there is absolutely no
order.
suddenly they will say that prana came from prana, there was a mind, from mind something else came. So there are krama theories and akramam theories, and there are mixed theories. But these are all only theories. The final theory you should understand is creation is a projection of the ultimate Lord. That's all. See, that's why I like the Mandukya Upanishad very, very much, because it has got a very clear line of thinking in terms of how I can realize my pure self as this art.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, to put in short, don't focus on these theories of creation. Focus on ultimate, the Atma Tattvam in these talks.
Yeah. Just out
Especially
of the, yeah.
chapter 4, 5, 6, you will find it a little bit more in depth. Especially the sixth chapter. Sixth chapter is a very beautiful chapter.
Mhm. Just away from the topic, when I think one of the members, she was it Nagalakshmi ji, if somebody
Yeah,
said,
yeah,
yeah, about these Bhuta Preta and why they exist and all of that. And when we look at it, the population, overall population of the earth, in terms of jivas, has increased compared to maybe different ages of life, or on the earth. Is it because now I'm just trying to see that during, say, Satyuga or Treta or Dwapar, people were more sattvic, so they did a lot of yajnas, tapas, and all of that, and they went to different lokas. So have they actually exhausted all of their punyams and have come to bhuloka? Because there was one of the things one somebody asked me is, if you believe that jiva takes one body and then goes into another, then how is that number of people are increasing? Because it can't be, because conservation of energy, or just like conservation of
yeah, yeah,
law of conservation, there has to be conservation of jivas.
yeah.
So is this would be the answer to this, that
No,
they
no,
have
no.
all
See, no.
no?
This question has been answered in Brahma Sutra. See,
Okay.
the number of jivas. These are all with reference to when you take the body as me. When
Mhm.
you don't consider the body as me, I am the pure consciousness. There is no question of jiva, body, stula shariram, sushma shariram, and all. The Veda comes down to help the people to understand in their own way. For example, if your mind is not so developed, the Veda comes down and says, yes, there are jivas, there is rebirth,
Mhm.
there is
Mhm.
karma, there is sanchita karma, agami karma, and so on.
Mhm.
So, uh, your question, are the jivas, uh, the total number of jivas in this world, in this universe, is it the same or is it changing? There is no direct answer. What I have heard from the scriptures is, you are only looking at jivas which are with physical body of human bodies. What about the jivas in other bodies? Have you counted those? Can you count them at all or not? Very difficult.
Yeah.
Very difficult. You see, so there is no. That is why they say in the scriptures that jivas are anadi.
Mhm.
But jivas, by knowing that their nature is consciousness, they drop their identification as a physical body
Body.
with
And- mm.
as me. See, again and again, Shankaracharya only says that it is a problem of dhyasa.
Mhm.
Adhyasa means that what I am, I don't
No.
take it as my nature. What I am not, I take it as my nature. This is,
Mhm.
in simple terms, what is adhyasa.
Mm.
Who am I? I am the pure awareness. But what do I consider today? I take this body and all the experiences which I'm having as real.
Mhm.
What is actually real? Real is Atma. And what is this anatma? entire anatma is adhyasa. See, try to understand the adhyasa theory a little bit more, and you will get your answers to your questions. All your questions, I'm telling you, in terms of where to really look for knowledge and what to hold on, you should know. We study a lot of things. You see, in Upanishad, we study quite a lot of things. But the essence of the Upanishad is only just a few sentences, a few words, and that you should hold on, build over it. So whenever it comes to Upanishad study, focus on Atma. Which part of this Upanishad is talking about Atma? Little bit of some knowledge comes in between about creation, about God, a nature of God, and so on. So those aspects you listen purely from academic point of view, but hold on to the Atma Tattva portion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So today,
Yeah, Shankara.
so the other question is, see, a lot of people who are, say, we've heard of stories where people come and even a 5-year-old person could be chanting Bhagavad Gita because of the prarabdha karma or whatever, right? So that means that Jivatma has traveled from one body to another by rising to some level to come to Vedanta. Like, as we believe that we are here probably because we have done some good deeds in the past and we are walking towards moksha. So, the journey for everybody or every Jivatma, if I say, um, is to get to this goal of understanding Atma or understanding your real self. That's the simple way to say, to your own Swarupa. So, is is it given that everybody is walking forward, or is there a possibility some people could be walking backward and forward and backward and forward until they come to this point where they have to understand their Swarupa? Or does that actually happen?
So it's possible. See, what happens is our Sanchita karma, what karma is fructifying in which body? We don't know. So it could be possible that there is a up and down. Generally speaking, the Upanishads, the scriptures, it is not a straight line that a jiva starts here and he reaches. It's not a straight line. There is a up and down movement. It is there. So the answer to your question is a jiva can fall, a jiva can rise. It is not a straight rise and rise and rise and rise. What the scripture says is at least you will get human birth. You will get human birth where you get an opportunity to study the scriptures again.
Mm.
And uh, what the Bhagavad Gita clearly says is that the rebirth is there for the body.
Yes. Yeah.
Don't focus on those things. Say, I am not all this. Start saying, I am the pure Atma and drop everything else. That's all.
No, I'm trying to actually I'm trying to understand it so that I know I can, fully understand and then um, get rid of that idea and hold on to
Yeah.
that pure consciousness. So it is like by sort of neti in my own mind, shall I say, that this is not the real. And so we have to actually assume or understand that pure consciousness is the only
What helps
truth.
maximum in our spiritual journey, I'll tell you. The maximum thing which helps us is to say that all my experiences are mithya. All, every experience I have is mithya and I am satya. I am satya means what? I am the Atma, which is satya. Experiences are coming and going as per the law of karma. That is the nature of the body. I don't pay too much attention to, and I'm happy. I'm happy, and I've got money. I've got riches in me. But that is not my real nature. There is some law of karma which is which is uh, which is having its own uh, uh, nature of experiences, and saying that pure consciousness, awareness, which is the ultimate thing from all this study. The only thing which the Upanishad wants to tell you is, I am that pure consciousness. That pure consciousness does not have this experience, does not have any of these experiences. Experiences belong to the body and mind. Body and mind, the moment you are there, uh, in Brahma Sutra, the first portion is Adhyasa Bhashyam. There it clearly says that all Vyavahara is because of Adhyasa.
Mm.
Adhyasa means what? There is a mix-up
Super. Yeah.
of the body with Atma.
Mm.
And the only thing I have to learn is separation of the Atma from this body. Body is having experiences, let it have. Body is it's got sorrows, it's got joys, it's thing in life. Let it have. But always be aware, I am pure. Again and again, every session I repeat the same thing, and it is not easy.
Mm.
But
Mm.
the Upanishad helps me to remember this fact.
Yeah. Thank
Thank you, Shanta.
Dhanyavad.
Thank you.
Dhanyavad. Yeah.
Anybody else has a question?
Shekharji, this is Venkatesh here.
Yeah, Venkatesh.
So can I just add to Santaji's matter
Go
and
ahead.
energy? Yeah. No, because from the engineering point of view, I just would like to clarify a few things actually. No, this Prashna Upanishad is a bit different from other Upanishads. This is very unique where matter and energy has been taken into consideration because the emphasis is given with reference to the prana. Prana is itself is energy. That's why we call it pranayama and all that. Just to say, like from the scientific point of view, matter and energy, they are not separate. Every matter is associated with energy. Like matter is associated with either a potential energy or a kinetic energy. Potential energy when it is at certain height, elevated place. Kinetic energy when it is associated with some motion. So this body is supposed to be like made of so many cells. The whole thing is a very cellular, and we are in the biomagnetic field. This body is like a biomagnetic field. So it is said that this entire cells are attached together by virtue of that internal force, which is prana. It's like a cellular energy.
Mm.
So which is what that matter and energy is finally taken into consideration actually. We are under the influence of this magnet. This earth itself is a magnetic field, and we are like a biomagnetic. And body is made of so many cells and all, and they are attached together like any typical shell. If you take like proton,
Yeah,
nucleus,
that's what
and
exactly I was going to
neutron
say.
and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, there is I have been, I don't know whether somebody can go little detail. Quantum theory, if you just study actually. So they said this entire universe is nothing but vibration. And
Yes.
that aspect is only defined in the Prashna Upanishad. So Prashna Upanishad, I heard few times when Shekharji was talking and all that. But this, this Bhashyam, maybe we need to go in little detail actually. So there is a vibration in the entire creation. This whole universe is nothing but vibration. Spanda and all that. There's a lot of theories and concepts are there, and we are in position. We are attached to this earth by virtue of the gravitational force, and this earth is in position by virtue of typical attraction between the sun and the earth, with the moon in position. Even if the moon is not there, this earth will stick to something, and that's the disappearance. So the prana, this Prashna Upanishad has got a very significance with reference to the matter and energy. This whole analysis is different with reference to the time. Has been given a lot of importance because time is nothing but kala. Kala is associated with motion. Motion is associated with vibration. So a lot of dynamism coming into the picture. So this is where the matter and energy plays a vital role.
Yeah, thank you very much, Venkatesh ji, because you know what you actually pointed out is but as you started, I also was thinking of, even the body, which is made up of cells. Eventually, it is made up of atoms, and atoms are made up of, electrons, protons, and neutrons, and which is actually a form of energy. So, but what I am thankful to you is you highlighted prana is a form of energy, and that is in the form of all these the vibrations that was something which I and every we know that every atom vibrates all the time, which is actually that's how all these spanda and rishmiyas and all these what we talk in Vedic physics, which I don't know whether you've read them. This guy from, I think he's based in Rajasthan. He has written books on Vedic physics, really
Yes,
worth
I mean,
reading.
I
They're in
feel,
Hindi.
I find some of these
Yes,
Upanishads are so scientific actually. If you have little more awareness and the knowledge on the with reference to any other quantum mechanics and all, I mean, it's so unbelievable actually.
yeah, and
And
actually
it's,
he has connected actually the Vedic physics with all these Upanishads, and
yeah,
he
yeah.
does talk about, yes. Um, so it might be worth, I can mention. I don't remember the name of the author, but I've got the books. I will check and get back to you if you need. Yeah, so that is, I think, what I had lost was I was looking at prana is only air and breath, but you highlighted about the vibration, and that just connected straight away. Thank you very much.
I mean, that's where
So,
the pranayama comes into the picture actually. That's nothing but an energy actually. So that is the significance of prana. Prashna Upanishad is very unique that way. I mean, the six students and they are extraordinary students, and so the questions are unbelievable actually. Nachiketa and these six students are ultimate. I mean, like the Mundaka Upanishad, if somebody asks you a question, what is that knowing which everything is known? That's the end of everything actually. One single question has got everything. Very extraordinary disciple. So, I mean, Bhashyam maybe will have much more clarity on some of these.
yeah.
Clarity. Yeah, I
Thanks a lot,
believe so.
Satyadeep.
Thank you, Venkatesh and Shanta. Bharat, our scientist, another scientist in our group. Bharat, you want to say something on quantum theory?
Oh, I think uh, uh, um I was just going to say that before I learned Vedanta or quantum theory, I would I would go to school during the day, and at night I would go to sleep and dream. N Nothing else has really changed. So, everything you're experiencing, you continue to experience. It's just Vedanta is constantly asking you to look the other way. Look the other way. So yeah, it's in that sense, whatever is happening is fine. Quantum theory is great, mathematics is great, cooking food is also great, and whatever in that way, if something is meaningful to you, notice that it's meaningful to you. There's nothing wrong with that at all. It's all there to be enjoyed.
Thanks, Bharat. Yeah. What he's saying is look at it from the Upanishadic way, look at it from consciousness angle. That's what is the other side of the whole story.
Who
I
who
mean,
is the
because
one who is the one thinking about quantum theory right now? Who
Yeah,
is that one?
yeah,
Is
the
that the
I,
is
the
that the
real I.
is that the same one that was talking about prana? Is that the same one who's asking Shakaji all these questions? Who is that one? Where does that one go when the eyes are closed and the mind is asleep? Where does that one go?
Mm. Yeah. I think we all have to actually resolve ourselves into and
That's
understand
right.
the adhyasa part is, and what is the actual substratum and, the what we always talk about, the rope and the snake. And we really need to get the avidya uh, and out and realize our own self, the real self, which is nitya, and all the Pitoma, Nirakara, Nirguna. So thank you very much, Bharatji.
Yeah,
No,
Bharat.
I just want to add here. Like, see, if we see from the Upanishads point of view, we can just ignore everything, taking consciousness is the ultimate, actually, the Brahman. Anything is perceivable. That is what that the inert, as defined in the Vedanta, is anything is perceivable is inert, actually. Mind is perceivable, body is perceivable, your prana is perceivable. So everything, ultimately the consciousness. But what is happening is we are not gone to that stage. We are still at the jiva stage. So the mind has a lot of questions, a lot of queries and all that. It is very important to drop the mind. So in order to drop the mind, it is necessary that some of the questions which crop up that need to get clarified. I mean, at one time I was just wondering why so many these Upanishads and all that. So some Upanishads clarify some blocks, some granthis in some parts of somebody's minds, actually. So that's how the things gets moving ahead, actually. I mean, that's what. So if we just think that everything is perceivable and that's the end of it, so that's the Brahman, that's a good enough. That's a very high end of thinking. Yeah.
Thank you,
Yes, very
Venkatesh.
true.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think the number of Upanishads are needed. It's just like everybody can't eat one food.
Yeah.
One size doesn't fit all.
See, you take every Upanishad and see what it says and just leave. What it appeals to you, it's okay. Doesn't matter. Some, like I said, there's the viewpoints in each Upanishad, the angles in which they approach the same goal is very, very different. Different paths are taken. Let us go through them wherever our mind appeals. There are some people who are attracted to Prashnopanishad. There are some people who are attracted to Mandokya. Some people are attracted to Kathopanishad. So it's all coming back to one ultimate goal. Focus your attention on that goal and keep listening. That's all I would say. Thank you. We'll stop here and then continue next week on this Prashna Upanishad. And tomorrow, of course, we have Mandukya. Thank you and namaste.
Hari
Thank
Om.
you.
Thank you.
Dhanyavad. Dhanyavad. Thank you.
Thank you, Shakaji.
Hari
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Hari Om.
Thank you.
Thank you,
so
Shakaji.
much.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Hari
Thank
Om.
you. Namaste. Hari Om.
Namaste.
Namaste. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you.